Hi friends, it's Juris here and welcome to Tattoo Shop Talk, weekly web show where we talk tattoo related stuff and hopefully you pick up something and learn and maybe share your knowledge back with us. And today's shop talk will be a techie talk and it will be first impressions of a tattoo machine from the future. Well, probably not from the future, it's been around for a while and it looked pretty exciting since first I saw it. It's called Lace Nano, it's magnetic rotary tattoo machine, so now finally I have a chance to try it. Full disclosure here, this machine was sent to me to try it and if I like it I can keep it. So maybe that will have my mind a bit more positive, but maybe not, we'll see. So let's see what's in the box. This particular thing is called Lace Nano Kit and it's a box that contains following. It's the box itself. Inside you have a couple of stickers, user manual and certificate of authenticity with a serial number and a signature of Peter Bukovec, hand-built in Slovenia. Power adapter, and also it comes, that's also pointed out on the webpage, with adapters for different country plugs. This rubbery thing, which is I have no idea what for, and a couple of O-rings. Power cable, which looks like audio cable, what it's called 3.5mm jack. So that's probably a good thing because it's available in a lot of places including Amazon and probably music stores. Then it's a Lace Nano power supply, indoor use only, made in Slovenia. Pretty minimal thing. Power cable to the machine, power cable and a pedal, but pedal is not included in the box, and then machine itself. And myself and people who I showed it, they usually, once they pick it up, they're like, whoa, that's light. It says on the webpage that it's 46 grams. 46 grams is like nothing for a tattoo machine. So if you compare to other machines, then for example, these Cheyenne thingies, they come in around 150 grams if I'm not wrong. Dragonfly type machines are around 80 depending on model, because they have newer and older versions. And this one is only 46. Yeah, when I got it out of box, I was like, whoa, is this even real or this is just a model of machine or something like that. And now let's plug it in and see how it feels and what would be first impressions from touching it and running it. A little nice organizer for cable, which is nice. And pedal that is not in the box. So this would be power supply on the lowest setting and machine is already running. Doesn't sound too great at the lowest setting. It sounds very inconsistent. But once you put a bit of resistance on it, it sounds a bit better. Around halfway it starts to sound like something, and with a bit of resistance sounds better. And once you go more than half, then it's the frequency sounds alright. This sounds alright. And at the maximum, not the fastest machine I've tried, but it's okay, and at the maximum you can feel more vibration. And now let's look at the manual and see what this machine can do. So first thing that came on my mind is, will it work with cartridges? And then when I got it, I couldn't find information on the webpage, but in the manual it says that this machine will not work well with cartridge needles. Basically it's not recommended, so maybe it can do, and I will definitely try that. And on the machine here you can adjust stroke and you can adjust the hit, how soft or hard it is, which is nice. Even if it's bagged, you have access to those wheels. It's not like some of the modern machines that you have to take apart just to adjust some little things. So this is all accessible, which is nice. Yes, this machine is advertised as fully autoclavable, and it says in manual that you can put the whole thing inside autoclave and autoclave it at 135 degrees, which is awesome, because I remember back in the days when this type of things came out and people were also like, oh, it will be fully autoclavable, and then it turns out that you can autoclave only grip, and then it turns out that even that is not recommended. In manual it only says that it's don't use ultrasonics. If you autoclave it a lot, then it's recommended to use some oil to lubricate bearings. That would be like a dentist grade stuff, because the bearings are like some dentist grade, dentist machine stuff, which sounds scientific. And now let's put some needle and grip in it and see how that feels. So this would be the setup in my sort of understanding, and it looks a bit off in types of ergonomics. First thing I noticed is that grip sticks out quite far, but with the weight of machine, and this feels actually nice. What's weird is the cable is sticking out to the side. It's like this because the tube is facing this way, the rubber band is there, and then the cable comes out sort of towards you if you're right-handed, so that looks a bit strange, but I think that can be easily sorted with just kind of L-type connector, so that's an easy fix. So in terms of ergonomics, I would say that maybe it's made more by some engineering type of people than tattooists themselves, but that's okay. So now it's at the maximum with the rubber band. Feels pretty strong actually. With a bit of resistance it sort of sounds more consistent. Okay, but it gets pretty soft once you turn the power down, but at the maximum it sounds something like a tattoo machine. And even if the power is down at its lowest, it's still there, but it's pretty much stopping. Let's fiddle around with it. This should be stroke. That would be maximum, but then it loses a bit of power. And this would be how soft or hard it hits. Turn it up. Obviously this thing, what I'm doing now, it's just a rough guess what it is, because I'm not expert. I never understood what I'm doing with this thing. It's more like I'm trying to figure out to which of my tattoo machines it feels similar to. And another thing I noticed that this part is pretty strong, but if you accidentally touch this wheel, it slows down like quite a bit, so you have to keep that in mind when you work, not to somehow touch it, block it by accident with some plastic bag, or just touching somehow by holding it in some weird way. That just comes on mind just when you touch the machine and play around with it, because when you work there's nothing really that can affect it there. And one more thing I noticed, like if you're one of them body modification people who have magnets inside their bodies like I have one here, you can feel the magnetic field of the machine. So once it's running from around 2 centimeters you start to feel that there's some tingling and magnetic fields going on, but that's a different story. And now let's see how it sounds and feels like with cartridge needles. Okay, as for setup here, I have a disposable grip from Elite with a push bar, and then I have a cartridge needle at the tip. Yeah, with cartridges it doesn't work. It just looks like it can't push the thing out. You can adjust the length of a stroke, and right here you can see that it's barely moving, so I guess the magnet can't push it that far, but I tried. In my perfect situation, it would be awesome to have a machine like this that could pull cartridges, because it's nice that you can adjust all those things there. Maybe the cable should face other way, and I wouldn't mind it be twice as heavy and had more power. But first impressions, it's interesting. Super interesting, and I really want to try, and I want to see what it can do and for what type of works it works best. It feels that it's not the strongest type of machines, and I don't think it will work for some bigger lines, but I think there's many situations where it can be useful, especially for Pinterest type of works where it's small lines and things like that, or maybe some soft shading, but you never know until you try it. Maybe it can do bigger lines as well, and maybe it can easily pack color, so that I have to try. But my first guess is thin lines and soft shading. Yeah, and one more thing, I remembered that when this machine showed up, and I heard like sort of rumors from people that this company have just straight up copied Dan Cuban's Sidewinder machine. When you look at it and when you piece it together, you can see that it looks different concept. There's all that magnetic action going on, that's one thing. And another thing is that there's no springs and stuff involved, so there's that magnet doing all the magic. But I understand what can lead to those thoughts, because if you look at the machine like this, the motor is sort of sideways, so, you know, Sidewinder kind of thing. When you assemble it, you actually hold it like this, and this whole situation moves different ways, so I don't think it's that. Maybe it's some visual inspiration, but I don't think it's copy. It looked like really interesting machine, and I'm really looking forward to try it out and see what it can do and what it can do. If you have used this machine, then please let me know in comments what you find good about it and what you didn't like about it and what it works for best. And if there's any other things to look more into, then let me know in that and I'll check it and I'll try to reply to your questions in comments or maybe in next video. And I think I figured out what this thing is for. You can probably put it on the bottom of the box so it doesn't slide around. Anyways, check my other videos, check this one here, check this one here, and also subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Bye!